Opening scene, slow instrumental music, dusk-lit visuals of a woman walking alone. Narrator, soft, steady, poetic tone. Some women don't chase, and yet they're never forgotten. They don't scream, they don't demand, they don't explain. They simply vanish. And in that vanishing, something ancient stirs in the soul of a man, not just guilt, not just longing, but a hollow ache from the depth of his unconscious, a place even he has never dared to visit. Scene shifts to man alone in a dimly lit room, silent, reflective. She was never chaotic. She was stillness, and that stillness once threatened him more than any storm ever could. Because the man, ruled by ego, sharpened by conquest, had never stood before a mirror that refused to speak, to beg, to stay. The archetype unfolds. The woman he lost was not just a woman. She was the anima, the feminine image buried in his psyche, the hidden soul he projected outward, hoping to tame her, to control her, to possess the parts of himself he never understood. He thought she was soft, but softness, in its deepest form, is unshakable. It doesn't yield under pressure. It simply steps back and watches as the mask begins to crack. Flashback imagery, past moments, subtle manipulation, her silence growing louder. In the beginning, he tested her, not out of cruelty, but out of fear. A fear inherited from generations of wounded men who were taught that power lives in detachment, not intimacy. He pulled away to feel desired. He withheld truth to feel in control. But in time, she stopped reaching into the void. She stopped trying to prove she was worth loving. And instead, she disappeared without slamming the door. Emotional turning point. For one, his inner collapse begins. He didn't notice it at first. The silence was comforting. No questions, no confrontation, no consequences. But then came the echo, a delayed sound of absence, louder than any voice. He walks through familiar spaces, but nothing tastes the same. Nothing feels enough, because it wasn't her presence that haunted him. It was what her detachment revealed. She didn't take anything when she left. She only left behind a reflection, one he can no longer escape. Emotional turning point, Buff 2, his confrontation with the shadow. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the dark twin we refuse to see. And when the feminine walks away in silence, she becomes that shadow's whisper, the invitation to finally look within, not to chase her, but to face himself. He remembers her eyes, not just their beauty, but the way they saw him, not the man he pretended to be, but the boy beneath the armor, the boy who never healed, the boy who feared being left. So he left first. Symbolic imagery, the detachment. She didn't run, she released, like a bird setting down a stone it was never meant to carry. She didn't explain because truth isn't owed to those who wear masks. In that silence, she didn't punish him. She liberated herself. Her detachment wasn't revenge, it was evolution. The moment a woman sees that her worth is not measured by how much pain she can hold. Emotional turning point, Bar 3. His anima breaks through. Now she haunts him. Not in bitterness, but in the quiet elegance of what he destroyed while trying to control it. And his soul, though armored and proud, begins to crack open, because he sees now she was not a chapter, she was a mirror, she was the gateway to his own depth, and he shut it with his own hands. Closing shift, her liberation, his awakening. There are women who plead, and there are women who leave in stillness. The latter are not cold, they are clear. They have walked through fire too many times to wait at the door of a man who doesn't know his own name. Individuation, Jung said, is the soul's great task. To become whole, to integrate shadow and light. And when a woman walks away from the game, she chooses wholeness over longing, She chooses peace over potential. She chooses herself. Final line, fade out with slow music and moon imagery. The woman who walks away in silence isn't weak. She simply sees more.